Hello and welcome to Brimwood Farm. I'm Jeff, it's February and that means we can start sowing some more seeds. Firstly, thank you so much for bearing with me yesterday when I felt really rough. Luckily, I've woken up this morning and feel a lot better. I'm generally quite a hardy soul, so I'm glad that I'm managing to get rid of the headache and now I'm just a bit of a snot monster. So today, it's February, it's still definitely winter, it's still cold, but there are times when we can get some seeds on early. So I did the seeds in January, and now it's time to get on with some February seeds. So today I'm going to be planting some tomatoes, some peppers, and some sweet peas. Now firstly, here's a little update on the January seeds. These are my aubergines. You can see 5 have germinated. I'll probably just pop a couple more seeds into those pockets. And then the Achillea noblesse have also come up. Now a tip I learned yesterday from Graham's Kitchen Garden, he is a man who is always filled with a huge amount of knowledge, is a way to make these stems sturdier. I always have problems with leggy seedlings. And all you do is this. And that sort of replicates what happens in the wild, and it will make those stems thicken up a bit faster, which is a really great tip. The winter lettuces, by the way, were a complete failure, went mouldy, and I've had to plant another lot, so they're behind. You also know that obviously they're in the house now. That's one of the things to remember when you're planting seeds is, although you're putting them in the propagator, that's warming the soil and getting them ready for growth. Once the actual seedlings have emerged, they need different requirements. So these aubergines, the soil is warm, but outside in the lean-to where the propagator is would be too cold for these little leaves, so they're now on the windowsill to grow on. So without further ado, let's look at what we're going to grow today. So first up, we have a couple of varieties of tomato. I've got this lovely Alicante. It's a good salad tomato. I grow it almost every single year. And then I've also got this good cooking tomato, Costoluto Fiorentino. It says that it's a big Italian favourite, so I'll be putting it, I'm not going to put all of them in, I'm going to put in a small selection of each and grow them on so I get some early crops, and then I will do a successional sowing probably next month. Then, as ever, this is my 3rd year, I'm going to try and get a California Wonder pepper. The past 2 years have been completely filled with disaster. The first year, nothing happened. The second year, I had to do 3 sowings because the first lot never came up. The second lot got eaten by a hen, and the third lot, I got 1 fruit, and it was about that big. So I've kind of given up on last year. So I'm going to try these again. And then finally, for the cutting garden, I've got a couple of sweet peas. Now, sweet peas aren't brilliant for cutting gardens because they don't have a long vase life, but if you're only growing them for the home, then it's worthwhile growing them because they're beautiful and they smell wonderful. I've picked these 2 varieties, Arthur Hellier and Jeff Hughes, because I just think they work well on their own, but they will also work well in combination. So I'm going to be sowing a couple of pots of those, get them going, and then I'll do some successional seedings of those as well. And the other thing with these climbers is I'm going to be putting them on my fencing to try and hide that fencing, as many of you know is blimmin' awful to look at. So let's get going. So as ever, I've popped my trays of soil into the butler's sink with about 1 inch of lukewarm water, just to get all of the soil nice and moist and ready for planting. Let's start with the peppers. I like to have a really firm base, so what I do is I get a tray like this, I fill it with compost, and then I'll take a similar tray and press it in, and that just gives you a really solid, strong base. And then I'll just tease across there, even it out a bit. Okay. Now, as I said, peppers I have not had a lot of luck with. So you sow them February to April. So I'm going to put in some now this month, and I'm going to also do some next month. But like the aubergine, they can take a long time to mature. And the thing that I've had problems with aubergines, with these peppers, is that germination has been okay, and growing on to about 2-3 inches has been fine, and then they've stalled. And I think it's the heat, or the lack of the heat. So this year, I'm going to give them a bit more heat. Now I don't want to do too many plants, so I'm just going to, let me lay them out like this. I'll do 1, 2, 3. Ooh. I'm going to give them quite a bit of space as well. 4, 5, 6. Let's do 12. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, easy peasy. And then I never water from the top, I always water from below. And then I'll just take a little bit of seed compost and cover them up. And then these will go in the propagator because they need that bottom growth, bottom warmth to actually get them to germinate. And then I'll just use this again to firm it down and press all the air out and press the soil around those seeds. And that's then done. The tomatoes I'll do a similar way, so I won't actually show them, but the sweet peas I'm going to do in these pots. Now I've done the same in terms of filling them up and then pushing it all the way down. Sweet peas need quite large pots because they don't like their roots disturbed. If you have a shallow pot, then when it comes to moving them on, they will you'll disturb their roots. There'll be no way around it. Whereas if you give them a deep pot, you will disturb their roots as little as possible when it comes to pulling them apart and planting them out. These won't go in the propagator. They don't actually no, they will go in the propagator till they start to sprout, and then they'll just go in a frost-free place because I don't want them to get too leggy. Because you can't actually plant them out in the garden until the last frosts have disappeared. Now there are many ways of doing these, and some people say you should nick off the top to help them germinate. Others say you should put them in water and soak them overnight. I've always just put them straight in and I've never had a problem. I can't find my dibber, so we're with a trusty stick today. And then I actually watched a video by Sean James Cameron the other day when he was sowing his, and he said that there's been studies found where planting them together in a pot rather than individually actually benefits them. I've always done them in a pot and I've never had any issues, so that may well be correct. Put them all around the edge to make it easier to pull them apart. Okay, so that is my Arthur Hellier. Oh, I can't put these back in. So one problem with little pea seeds, they do roll all over the place. Come on. And then my Jeff Hughes. I'll do the same for this one. Oh, I've actually got a rogue one that's fallen in there. So as I say, all of these will be put in the propagator. The peppers, once they've germinated, will be brought into the house because those little seedlings will need extra warmth. The sweet peas will be left in the lean-to where it gets fairly cold, and they'll just sit around till the warmth of the spring comes, and then they'll get going. And then the tomatoes, similarly, will be put on the heat and then brought into the house as well to grow on. So that's just about done. So there's the sweet peas, and then I'm going to pop the tomatoes into a modular one per each. So I'll do half and half. 6 of the Alicante and 9 of the Alicante and 9 of the Costaluto Fiorentino. So they're my 3 seeds for February: peppers, tomatoes and sweet peas, and hopefully now they're in the propagator they'll start growing really, really fast. I do have to hold myself back though because it is February, it is still winter. If I start growing too much too soon, I'll have run out of window space, run out of propagator room, and then I'll have all these plants that I can't actually put outside. But hopefully what I have sown will do well. I'll see you again on Monday for a Monday Magic, and then again next Friday for a regular video. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.